It's finally the end of the spray and pray meta after Epic made like Jay-Z and reintroduced the pump shotgun after controversially vaulting it to begin Season 9. Plus, the 14 Days of Summer event was leaked last week, finally kicked off yesterday, plus more to discuss. Even though we're getting one unvaulted weapon per day for the 2-week summer event, and more on that later, Epic did even more than channeling its inner Rick Ross every day. They're shuffling by permanently doing so to some items like unvaulting the uncommon and rare pump shotguns, so we can finally get back to actually aiming. And even with shittier shotguns, they're still the most viable weapon category due to building mechanics and other design decisions, so that philosophy goes right out the fucking window. The shockwave grenade is also back due to said game mechanics, forcing players to engage one another. We need an item to promote that mobility, and the suppressed SMG welcome back as well, since the burst SMG was absolute shite, but Epic did buff it in this patch to increase both damage and accuracy again, since aim is the name of the game. In order to make room for the shockwave grenades, the weaker impulse nade and the more dynamic rift to go were sent to the vault, as well as the rare tactical assault rifle variant only, since the suppressed SMG is back, and the season has been frankenfucked enough already with mismatching ammo types, where the aforementioned tactical assault rifle takes SMG ammo, the drum gun SMG takes AR ammo, the flintlock pistol takes sniper ammo, the pirate cannons, which have also been vaulted by the way, since that is so last season, takes human ammo, and the boombo explosive sniper takes shotgun ammo. If all of this wasn't enough to make your head spin right round, baby, like a record, there is a new, and by new I mean one that's already been in the game several times in one form or another, with the revolver in both epic and legendary variants, using assault rifle ammo, again to fuck with your ammo type prejudices, holding 6 rounds, dealing 63 and 66 damage respectively, with a 2x headshot multiplier to fill the void of the recently vaulted dual pistols to fit this patch theme of having to actually aim again, versus the dualies popping off in any general direction. There's even more on that philosophy with weapon balancing, as the drum gun caught a nerf with a reduced clip size from 50 down to a still recalculous 40 and a fire rate reduction. Why not just bring back the P90 instead if you're going to make the stats the same? Oh right, because of all the no skin window lickers voted on this one to be unvaulted, showing how bad the community at large really plays this game. The heavy assault rifle had a damage increase by 2 across all variants, and the infantry rifle had its epic and legendary variant clip size increased from 8 to 10 to reward players that flick like cigarettes. The minigun also got that 2 damage increase buff on all variants, but it overheats faster than a New York summer day, so it should remind you of the garbage left out on the street and how badly it stinks. Even though nobody will willingly use it after the return of the pump and the prevalence of the combat shotgun, the tactical shotgun is no longer useless if you could actually hit headshots, with a buff to the damage multiplier from 2 to 2.25, but its availability is being reduced to make way for the pump, so hopefully you can continue to ignore it when you find less of them. Also with availability changes, the flint knock and semi-auto sniper can still be grumbled about when they pop out of chests less frequently. The last change in this patch deals with llamas getting a buff in terms of number per match from 3 to 5 and material reward from 200 to 350, which makes sense now that we don't have that arbitrary 500 limit anymore that people seem to forget was part of that siphon deal in a game all about building, which separates it from the other ho-hum battle royale offerings on the market. The 14 Days of Summer event was officially kicked off yesterday, which will feature those challenges that were leaked in the last Fortnite news video, a ton of new limited time game modes to play, and more on those in a second, as well as a freshly unvaulted weapon that will last for 24 hours like a stomach flu that was the LMG yesterday, and the quad launcher today, which I'm glad isn't fucking permanent. However, since that pump shotgun is permanent, the only items that I'd like to see come back are the burst assault rifle, which I love the satisfaction of getting a 1 burst like the Call of Duty 4 M16 or MW2 FAMAS, the thermal assault rifle, which is actually good for both scanning for enemies and easier to use as a single shot rifle than the infantry semi-awful one, either the heavy shotgun or Spaz 12 legendary and rare pump variants, and the bouncer pads, because who doesn't love killing twat waffles trying to trick shot? They're pretty easy to kill when they're doing ballerina twirly twirlies. Let me know down in the comment section which items you would like to see unvaulted for a day. The unvaultings aren't the only daily rotating spectacle, as there are a ton of new limited time modes, with yesterday being the splashdown squads, a respawn mode in which you could only damage players with water balloons, which begs the question, what the fuck is in that water? And today is the use with care duos, where you get a set amount of building materials at the start of the match and cannot obtain more, so basically it'll be season 1 and 2 meta all over again in a last player standing match. Others that Epic has divulged include Builder's Paradise, not the song that has almost the same name in an out-of-place movie trailer, and strategic structures that increase the health of materials for both, with the former having more material drops and granting anybody, regardless of team, the ability to edit any structure, while the latter has fewer material drops, so you'll need to be smart about where you place your builds. Another is Tank Battle, that thankfully does not introduce a new vehicle in the game, but instead it refers to player health and shields that are drastically increased, while healing items have been removed, and the health siphon mechanic that people have been bitching about its removal earlier in Season 8. There's also also a power-up mode that's played in 2 different phases, with the first having respawn in each shield consumed increases your overall shield capacity, with the second phase having no respawn and a one-time shield refill before a fight to the death. For those that dress in all black even when it's not Halloween, there's a heavy metal squads, with the only weapons having the word heavy in the name, which grants my wish to use the heavy shotgun in that mode, and metal materials are increased, but so is the storm circle, just like a fucking mosh pit. For players that like racing games even though they're playing a shooter, there's storm chasers, like a TV show that encourages douche canoes to put themselves in harm's way by dropping everyone into a vehicle at the start of the game with impulse grenades, constantly refilling your inventory. A real Bert and Ernie, not gay, just besties type mode with the leave none behind duos, where the slurp effect is constant for all players until a teammate gets down, whereby that shitter takes no damage, but the one that actually stays alive will take damage over time until they're both back up, and then they're going slurping USA once again. Arsenal solos, where you start with the best weapons in the game, which is curious to see if Epic actually knows their own game here, and with each elimination your weapons get worse, but as an incentive to actually kill others, you can only win with the last shite weapon, kind of like in Gun Game, where they leave melee weapons for last. Also, to fuck with your usual setup and or show off your variety of skills, loadout swap squads, a respawn mode whereby each player has an identical loadout that rotates on a timer. Finally, in mode, since Epic is taking a page from Call of Duty with Prop Hunt last week, they're also reaching back into the annual franchise, but this time when troll channels were actually relevant on YouTube before this generation of consoles designed that type of content out of existence, with a headshots only mode where damage only counts if it's a wig split. There is one leaked mode that is still not in the blog post named Chameleon, which is a variant of that Prop Hunt game mode where it's like a normal last player standing match, except you have the ability to turn into different props around the map to avoid confrontation like a beta. There are also those event challenges to complete, and as of this recording, there are 2 active challenges: dancing at 6 different beach parties even though you're not invited to them because you're hashtag forever alone, which are located on the map shown on screen here, although be careful at that dusty divot one. Don't swim in the radioactive water unless you want to grow a 3rd testicle. They have lounge chairs, umbrellas, balloons, porta potties, and a hipster favorite, the food truck, which the latter is where you need to emote in front of in order to mark that checklist in order to earn the deep end emote. The second challenge is to bounce a beach ball in 3 different matches, the locations of which you have probably already seen on the map if you've been playing in the last week, but in case you haven't, the 3 locations of them are shown on this map here, with the reward being this loading screen that is definitely to entice you into buying the summer theme skins that litter the beachy landscape, although that Bigfoot one is still a head scratcher, and we can clearly see like the Summer Drift and Beach Bomber are just easy ports from other skins. That's not all with challenges, as week 8s have also been leaked, and if you need a list of chores to do in order to keep you playing the game, they are as follows: 5 eliminations outside of name locations, which, given how generous Epic is with the area of some name spots, could prove to be difficult. Then eliminating 7 opponents in 2 different name locations: Snobby Shores, which you're only landing on to complete fort bites, and more on those in a bit, or Mega Mall if you feel like getting lost in a structure while hearing footsteps all around you. Applying 400 shields, which you should be doing anyways unless you're playing the fucking game wrong. Damaging opponents for 500 hit points with assault rifles, which again should be business as usual. Using a volcano vent in the jungle biome, air vent, which can be found on sky platforms or in Neo Tilted as well as Mega Mall, and the zip line, which can be found on the outskirts of the map like some boosting bitches, all in one game. Visiting 3 different clocks, of which they're located on the map shown on screen here. One overlooking Happy Hamlet, the digital one, which is the only one dumb shits know how to read in Neo Tilted, and the OG Clock Tower one, now residing in Junk Junction, and finally a stage landing challenge for Paradise Palms, then Neo Tilted, then Mega Mall, then Pleasant Park, and lastly Junk Junction, where you'd only go to complete the previous challenge. If you've done all of these tasks, you'll get this loading screen here, which is an easy rip from the Season 9 trailer before Jonesy went all Jeffrey Dahmer on Peely when they were playing video games. According to this website that I usually use for all of my Fort Buy challenges, number 97 is the one you get for searching within the loading screen of week 8, which I'd assume is in the arcade in the Mega Mall, but that's already number 79. So where is the inverse, number 97? According to GameWith.net, it's located in Lucky Landing near a washing machine and gym equipment, which I can't really see in the loading screen, so I'm assuming like week 2 this is based on the description of the loading screen when you select it in the menu, which obviously nobody has access to yet, but people have found Fortbyte 97 in this location because the Fortbyte shows up before you could actually earn the loading screen, so the website was correct in its location. Speaking of Fortbytes, there are plenty of ones that have been leaked which have not gone live yet, but we do know where they should be located once they do. Number 4 needs the plasma contrails to be equipped to skydive through the rings above Loot Lake, similar to number 70 with Lazy Lagoon, so you better hope the bus goes right over that area. Number 5 brings you to the dance club, where you'll need the laid back shuffle emote all the way at tier 95. Number 18 is in a shed between Mega Mall and Dusty Divot, the only time you should ever check those for anything useful. Number 21 in the Metal Llama by Junk Junction, similar to number 69 in the Stone Pig by Lucky Landing. Number 23 is between an RV campsite, gas station, and monstrous footprint that lands you west of Loot Lake on this mountain shown here. Number 27 is the map coordinate A4, which is actually in the middle of the fucking ocean surrounding the goddamn island, so have fun building ramps and walkways in order to get over to it. Number 28 is in the junkyard south of Paradise Palms, where you need to do a color matching puzzle. Number 29 in Crankshot's cabin, which is north of Frosty Flights with that big fuck off Christmas tree in it. Number 34 between the fork and knife, pun on the name of the game, north of Fatal Fields. For number 38, you'll need the Vendetta skin to visit the northernmost sky platform by Lazy Lagoon. Number 40 requires the Demi outfit to visit a sundial, which curiously doesn't count as a clock for the week 8 challenges in the desert biome. Number 53 requires 2 people, sorry to everybody that has no friends, to emote in the abandoned mountain layer northeast of Snobby Shores in order to raise a disco ball. Number 62 requires the Stratus skin at tier number 71 at the other abandoned mansion on the eastern side of the map near Lonely Lodge. Number 63 at the gas station north of Lucky Landing. Number 67 needs the Retaliator glider at tier 79 to pass through the rings underneath the southern sky platform south of Salty Springs, similar to what you did for number 89 in Snobby. Number 75 is in an airplane hangar in Frosty Flights. Number 83 in the Rock Garden north of Lonely Lodge. Number 94 requiring the Scarlet Scythe Axe as part of the tier 87 Demi skin upgrades to smash a canoe, not of the douche variety, and the frozen lake west of Shifty Shafts. And finally, number 100 in the tallest building of Neo Tilted on the top floor. There's an interactive Fort Bites map website made by California QT that I'll also link in the description that has been pretty helpful in crossing off those items on my to-do list, so if you ever want to feel like you're married, keep that up to date. Anyways, what do you think about this crazy patch that most of the community are praising like they should? Fatboy Slim, I've been the Schwantz27, off like the bug spray. Until next time.